So how does that, as far as coming up with the puzzles, how do you guys, how does that envelop?
Okay, so the puzzles, sort of the initial room design, the game design, game flow, all of that, we get that primarily from the franchise. So the franchise works on those ideas and they workshop them over the course of 3 to 6 months, work up the theming, work up the basic artifacts that go into the room, the puzzle flow, and so on. And then they work up a demo of it, prototype. If that goes well, they keep tweaking it, and then they'll have their first official location. Usually at that point, I'll make a point of going wherever the first official location is, and I'll play it, see what it looks like, see if it's a room I want to bring into our operation. If it is, then we start ordering that, and then I go start meeting scenic designers. So one of the things that I think is critical is that it is really immersive.
Right.
The franchise's focus sort of is after gameplay, basic theming, story, puzzles. They kind of are like, that's beyond our scope. So in my mind, I've got to bring a good scenic designer. So like our latest room, which is the Zodiac room, we brought in a scenic designer who works at the Field Museum. And she just did outstanding work. She had done movies, she's worked for HBO, has done real hardcore scene design. And that, I think, brought a real special element to the room. So that when people play Zodiac, they're super excited because they're, oh my God, wait, I thought we were in this place. Why is it all, where am I again? How did this happen? And they're completely thrown off.
That's cool.
About what just happened. I mean, so we brought in Zodiac as a later room and took out an old room. One of my game masters who worked here for a year, and had left, he came back to play Zodiac and went through the room, came out, was like, Vince, that room was so cool, it was so awesome. And I'm like, do you realize that was in the lab? What? Are you kidding? I was like, that can't be the same room. I've run 100 games in that room, and that's the same room? Oh my God, that was awesome. Who did you design? She's incredible. So, I mean, that's the thing. From now on, I know I'm going to get professional set designers and make sure that the rooms are done top notch, because people just absolutely love when we get the immersion right, like we did when we did the Zodiac room.
So the inspiration, and this came down from the part of the franchise had the idea, and then you were able to use that to create your own immersive experience with it?
Yep, exactly. So we get the game design, we get the themes, we get the puzzle flow, we get the all of those pieces that have to do with the game, the technical aspect, those come from them, and actually several other locations had worked them out. But when it came time for us to do it, I looked at my space and I thought, the direction that others went with, it's not going to work in our space. It just doesn't make sense for it. So we came up with a different interpretation, and then working with my set designer and the same pieces that we had to technically, we made a very different looking room with a very different feel. So when you start this, it's kind of eerie, but it's not like bloody and dripping with things like some of the others in the franchise were. Philosophically, we wanted to just put people on their back foot rather than knocking them over.
Right.
And that's what I think helps make this room that much more compelling, because it's kind of a disturbing space when you just get going, but it's not like horrifying space when you start. So that was really important to make this room sing.
Yeah, that's, as you're saying that is true. That's like the subtleties of art. Like, because if you're just bashing someone over the head of like horrific, then it's like, okay, I get it, and then you ease into that, for lack of a better word. But if you're easing into the creepiness, then that's even more unsettling, because you're like, why do I feel weird?
Exactly.
Why am I uncomfortable?
Yeah, and it's not just that you're handcuffed, because that's just something that's going to make people feel uncomfortable, but you escape that quickly.
Right.
But unfortunately, there's a lot more to escape, and you need a lot more time in the room before you get that exit.
Right. What was either the longest running room or the favorite one that you have now, aside from this?
Okay, so I'd say the longest running room is actually the very first escape room I played, and that is the bunker. So on that rainy day in Novi Sad in like February 2014, January 14, I'm still not sure of the dates, I played the bunker, and that was the one that blew me away. It's funny, I've even got some pictures on my refrigerator of us playing the bunker. and it is so boring looking. But at the time, we were like so excited. We're like, it's so cool! It's so cool! And I look at the picture now and I'm like, oh my God. This is just like, there's just a clock on the wall and we got a couple of random things there. And yeah, our immersion has gotten way, way better since 2014. But it was the first room, and it's still an awesome room. It's definitely the room I recommend most to brand new players of escape rooms. It is fairly approachable. It's a good size room. It's mostly linear, but it goes parallel late in the game. So people are getting more comfortable, and then when it parallelizes, they're like, okay. So it's a really good sort of intro to the escape room world. But it's also a really good room. It's got good gameplay, people enjoy it, have fun with it. The only downside I'd say to the bunker is that, you know, Chicagoans hear about it and they're just like, Cold War bunker. That doesn't sound interesting.
Right.
You know, it's something that doesn't sing to what I think of as the American psyche. Like when Americans, I think about their dream scenario of what they want to do, they're like, oh yeah, I want to win the lottery. I want a lottery winning game. And it's like, okay, let's be serious. Let's come up with something that's achievable other than, you know, you look at a screen like, my life just changed.
Right.
And then they think about it and they're like, I know. I want to break into a bank, get this, like, all the money and just play around with hundreds of dollars of bills and stacks, just like we see in the movies. Because that's what people really want to do. And that's what we can offer them at Fox & Box, is that experience to be the dudes who just broke into the bank and get the big wad of money. And they're like, they get to handle it. It's really cool. And yeah, when people think about what they want to do, it's all about robbing a bank. So this is our most booked room. You know, basically what I think of as unassisted booking. People have no idea if the room's good, bad, whatever. They want to do an escape room, but the bank room is the room they book first. So,
well, this is. I can only say this because I'm an ex-trader, but this could also be your clientele if you're in the trading district. So maybe robbing banks is their that's their thing.
That could be it as well. We did get some folks out from the Fed who've played, and they had fun.
That's awesome.
We had a lot of repeat traffic from the Fed folks.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. Yeah, there's something about a bank that I think it just answers a lot of our psyche questions, or what we think will answer people's problems and equate to happiness. So I wonder if that's part of the brief glimpse of, oh, now I have $10 million and I can pay everything off, and I don't know. But just in general, from like art to music to movies, and this was going back to you stating the picture in the bunker being plain.
Right.
We get numb to that first, there's the newness thing that's exciting, and so just doing a bunker room or a bank, just robbing a bank is exciting. And then to do it again, or just new expectations, is when you need to start adding additional things to make the experience even more, you know, from the newness factor to like, okay, we're bored of people jumping out. Like the haunted houses thing.
Yeah.
Started people with silly face paint to now 6 floors of people with like real knives or stuff, you know, real makeup and doing stuff. So I guess I don't know if that was a statement, but I don't know what question I wanted to ask from that. Have you noticed that as far as building things out, how much, it sounds like a lot of it actually has to do with you, like set designers and finding new things for it. Does that come out of yourself kind of experiencing the rooms and feeling like, oh, this would be fun? Or is that part of your game master or part of customer feedback to like start adding additional elements to a room or elements of excitement?
I think it's actually all of those things. I believe that me, my staff, you know, my contractors they hire